Back once again with Taylor Bradford of the Gloucester Daily Times. How you doing, Taylor?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us once again. Okay, right off the top, let's talk about the sad dolphin fiasco over at Mill River.
Right. So in the past 2 months, we've seen two dolphins here in Gloucester, and the first one brought a lot of hoopla and cheers. However, the second one that was seen last week brought a lot of jeers, unfortunately, as the dolphin passed away. Now, the people who saw this dolphin over by Mill River, the tidal estuary located by the Wheelers Point in Riverdale off of Hodgkin Street, saw this dolphin kind of beaching itself, flipping and bleeding, and really a horrible sight to see. And so, as you know, NOAA officials were called onto the scene, and a shellfish constable also arrived. People were wondering, how can we help this dolphin? What can we do to make sure that it survives and stays safe? From first glance, no one was going out to help it. No officials were going into the water. They were standing there. And they later made in a statement kind of explaining why that they were doing this. They explained that, it was evident, and both from their experience and research and understanding and professional experience with these type of animals, that this animal was passing away. And then they didn't want to interfere because they knew that it was going to die, whether or not someone intervened or not. And so, looking at that, the NOAA officials stood back to kind of let it die a peaceful, natural death. However, two bystanders went into the water to try to bring the dolphin into deeper water, thinking that it was seeking that kind of haven from the shore's edge. Unfortunately, that dolphin did die shortly afterwards, and there's been a lot of controversy around, why didn't NOAA go and help them? Why did these passerbyers go and help? And was it okay? Was it ethical? So there's a lot of questions there about, whether or not they were right to do this. Now, the community is, understanding and listening to know and understanding that, they were doing their job, but there's a couple of people I spoke with after the incident who had mentioned that they were frustrated that they weren't informed why no one was helping in the moment. No officials were helping in the moment, and kind of explaining that they just wish that someone had told them why they weren't doing anything at the scene. Now, of course, NOAA has come out later to kind of explain why, but I know that there's a lot of angry people at the scene. There's video footage. There's people who have spoken on the record about that. And so now NOAA's Federal Office of Law Enforcement is reviewing the incident to kind of see, the death of the dolphin, the bystanders who intervened, and kind of looking more into those details. And so that reporting will be ongoing as we wait on their response.
Mm-hmm.
So Taylor, this is the second dolphin, as you said, to get trapped in that estuary. Is there anything going on that this is happening, or has anyone talked about that?
So I don't know if trapped is the right word. I'm not quite sure. I just know that the first one, it seemed to be curious, and kind of, again, that estuary leads into the Annisquam River. So it seems as if that one was kind of just working its way. It was I believe a bottlenose dolphin, that first one. And so it was kind of, as I understood, kind of curious and made its way back out, where this one, it seemed as if it was seeking shallower water as it was going to pass away. So I'm not quite sure why the dolphins are coming into this very specific location, right? Like, this is a very niche part of a lot of water we have in Cape Ann. And so why that is, I can't speak right now on the record, but I'm curious as well, and maybe we'll find that out in further reporting.
Mm. And in other tough news, Taylor, we have the permanent closure of Cape Ann Brewery.
Yeah, so this brewery is a namesake here in Gloucester. If you're driving downtown, you'll see it right off the water. I know a lot of people go there in the summer. A lot of people have gone there for birthday parties and celebrations, weddings, anniversaries, all the works. But unfortunately, Cape Ann Brewery has closed. Jeremy Goldberg, the owner, noted that, prior to COVID, they had been already making a lot of changes and adjustments. And then when the pandemic hit, they just couldn't keep up, and unfortunately have closed their doors and their tap rooms for the last time. I understand that they are kind of giving the public a final hurrah for people who are wanting to pick up their mugs from the mug club, or if they have any additional or leftover brews, to pick those up or buy those, or any apparel as they close their doors. So really, unfortunately, a sad sight to see this kind kind of landmark here in the city go, as I know that a lot of businesses here in the city have been impacted by COVID-19. And there's a lot of different people who are rallying around together to try to support those that are staying afloat. But I know Jeremy Goldberg, throughout his time owning Cape Ann Brewery, has mentioned just the outpouring of support that he has seen from people, and really seems to latch on to the charity work that people have been doing and how they've been able to partner with people from different charities in the past. And so says his next step going forward is to find something that he can do to support his family, but also talked about getting to charity work. What that looks like, I'm not sure, and he doesn't know as of right now, but all he knows that is he did not buy out the building going forward that we know and love, and was formerly Cape Ann Brewery. So to see what comes next in that space, unsure, but I'm sure we'll report on it when the time comes.
Well, it seems like it needs to still be a distillery because there's a lot of equipment in there, right?
Right. Yeah. And I think that brings up another conversation is there's a lot of breweries here in Cape Ann and the North Shore. And so will a new one come in? Will an old one take the place? I'm kind of curious, especially as we exit winter in just a few short months. Will there be a new brewery there come summer 2021? We'll see.
Right. Yeah. And how are all the others doing during the pandemic?
Right. Yeah, because I know Great Marsh kind of opened a lot of their new features in the pandemic, and there's a lot of different breweries that are kind of trying to adapt, figure it out, especially as we have the alcohol restrictions where you have to have food in addition to your alcohol, and a lot of these breweries didn't serve food before, are now just kind of serving fries or something like that to kind of appease the ordinance or regulation.
Tough stuff all around. I will miss the Scotch ale and all of their stouts. And I raise a mug to Jeremy, Mary, and the Goldberg family for the brewery. Great spot, and it will be missed. Thanks, Taylor. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Have a great weekend.